Today, I'm going to talk about where I'm at with Saha Venture Group, the deals, the career, the entrepreneurship journey. I'll share everything that I can share. I will go as much in depth as you want me to go. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll definitely address them. And let's go. So, my name's Stanley Saha. I'll have to start with some backstory about me. I am a 23-year-old, currently living in Denmark, been here for about 4 years, and have been an entrepreneur since I stepped onto the Danish soil. I came to join a friend who started his own little window cleaning company, and we decided to continue doing that for the past 4 years, adding services, bringing friends, and that's been my journey for the past 4 years, is building a service-based business alongside partners. Right now, Saha Venture Group is at a stage that I never would have imagined I could be in 2 years before. And it is crazy how things have gone fast, and not only just in this career, but in my life. I may still be out cleaning toilets in the morning. I go through that in the morning to go and sit with investors and meetings online with business owners and persuading them to invest, give me money, sell me their business, and it going so well is rather extraordinary. And if I'm capable, the window cleaner of Denmark that can't speak Danish, to do what I'm doing today, anybody can do anything that they want. And it's all about just putting their mind to it, being driven, and you can do it. Once I stopped with French Touch, for reasons I can go and make another video about regarding partnerships and all that, it was mostly about providing value. But I can go into a lot more detail about my past experience. Right now we're here to talk about Saha Venture Group. And so private equity, M&A, buying businesses, doing leverage, buyouts, LBOs, and following their framework that Yusuf Say is currently making amazing videos about. Once I stopped with them, I felt very lost, as in I didn't know what to do. Obviously, I wanted money. Obviously, I wanted to build wealth. I wanted to be successful. But I didn't want to do that in the traditional way. The dropshipping, digital marketing, all those things that we hear so much about. The scammy ways to make ebooks online and sell them using AI and selling those. And there's courses, $10,000 courses for any sort of skill that never works. Some people can make it work. I know if I put my head to it, I could have, but it just wasn't something I felt providing value. I didn't feel that buying products in China, putting a brand on it, slapping it, sending it off to someone, making them pay 20 times as much as you did, was providing any sort of value. So I struggled, and I sat down with Yusuf, my mentor, just asked him what he thought I could do, what opportunities did he feel that matched my personality and my objectives and my values, and what I could do to provide value to this world. And so he gave me, as he put it, the very bad idea, and just gave me his framework, his business, and how he was working, his objectives, how he provides value, how he seems to provide value. And he didn't tell me explicitly to do what I was doing as of right now. He was like, I just gave you this bad idea. If you want to follow it, let me know. And he was so kind to offer guidance, and real guidance, not just... He's provided me for free more than you could ever pay anybody online ever. And that is, again, something that I will and never deny for the rest of my career, that I could never have gotten started without that amazing person. And again, all these people that will help me now and for the rest of my career, and alongside my career, I will always do my very best to provide as much value as possible and never to disappoint. That's how I started. And then a month after that conversation, a month of research, of trying to find other examples online, looking at his videos, trying to just learn about private equity, M&A, some financial, literacies, just understanding the world. How do people usually get into it? Oh, the investment banking, and then they go into private equity, and it's like, how can I do this? Maybe not. So it's all about just knowing about the industry. And a month in, I decided I'm jumping in. I don't care what anybody will say. Obviously, you tell your business partner that you've been working, for the past 4 years with, who's mainly driven the business that he created, and is, I was gonna say feels, but is quite a bit better at being an entrepreneur than you, and telling him that you're gonna do something else, and that you're gonna now be buying businesses on the side, people will doubt you. Like, what I'm saying is insane. What I'm saying is insane to you, even though you're watching me right now, even though you may be contemplating about what you're doing. Maybe I do it, but I've seen one of Yusuf's videos. I'm just trying to know more. Maybe I jump in it. You've connected with me on LinkedIn. Even if you're just thinking about it, it is insane. And nobody can deny that. And you just need to be so ready. All the questions that you'll be talking about for the rest of your life, the brokers asking you all these questions to try and just break you down, to see if you're really legitimate. You're really young, from the doubt that you see in the business owners' eyes, on the meetings, on the calls, and they ask you, and the brokers that go and get the debt, you're 23, do you have any experience, all these questions you have to just pull through. And you get that through the energy, through enthusiasm, through being driven, through just being delusional. Like, you have to be. Like, I will succeed. I will succeed. There is no outcome in this world other than my death tomorrow that will prevent me from doing this. And I will succeed. No matter who does help me along the way, I will succeed. Knowing that I can do that, I can push quite far. But I can also bear the pain of waiting. And this space is very slow. Things take time. I'm gonna just give you more context of where I'm at. Again, I went on a shambles. I'm gonna give you more context of where I'm at, specifically right now in my deal. I currently signed an LOI around 3 months ago. So around 2 months in starting and opening Saha Venture Group, receiving the letter that the business was created. And 2 months in, I had found a great business. I had gone through the broker, persuaded him to let me meet the owners. The owners were amazing. Circumstances were perfect. To give you context of the business, they make around 4.5 million in revenue, pounds. They're around 500,000 in EBITDA, around 30 employees, 2 owners that are staying on for the next 2 years. They're selling it at 2 million pounds, and an absolutely great business. They've done so much work to make sure that it is sellable. They just want to be doing something else. They've been doing it for the past 20, 30 years. And I can understand them, and I think anybody can. I got that deal because I harassed a little bit. I sent a lot of inquiries, a lot of emails, calls to brokers, different broking companies. There's a lot of them in the UK that you can contact, and a lot of different brokers. Connected with a few on LinkedIn, try to send some messages, just trying to get on people's minds, on desks, on sending inquiries for a business that maybe wasn't perfect, but just to get used to seeing deals, to seeing and understanding information memorandums, seeing the financials, comparing them, just seeing as many companies as you can. And at some point, one of the brokers got back to me. I sent an inquiry about a company that was very interesting, but the company was about to be sold and was reserved. And he was good enough and kind enough to send me another company that was on his desk, that looked good, that fit my acquisition portfolio, as they call it. And he sent it over to me, and it fit. I was sure that I could make it work. And so I pursued him. I said it was good. We continued, we talked, we negotiated, and then after the first few back and forths on pricings, I had a negotiation directly with the business owners, and they were not budging on price at all, because it was what they was worth. and I wasn't going to get anything better out of it. It was either I let it go. They had an offer for 1.9, and they're like, don't want to sell to that person in particularly, and we said 2, it's 2 million. That's just how we see it. And so if I can make it work at 2 million, I'll make sure you get 2 million, because it was just that good of a company. And so, as Yusuf puts it, there's deal flow, so getting the deals, then there's debt, so banks, making sure that you can get the loans, and then there's equity. And you have to go through that process to close a damn deal, get the completion date, get your business. So I had that first part covered. I'd done it, succeeded there. And I didn't need help per se over there. However, those 2 other parts are much more complicated. In a way, it's easy for you to be able to promise someone that you can get them their money. But then actually going out and getting that money is quite complicated. So that's why I had the guidance of my mentor, Yusuf, who put me in contact with different brokers, different people to try and help me find that money. I closed an investor very early on that Yusuf introduced me to, and he gave me some terms that were fair, considering I was a first-time buyer, 23-year-old, not living in the country that I was going to invest in, and it wasn't a bad deal. The terms were harsh, but they were fair. And I tried to then go and find that second investor that would provide some sort of guarantee and all this, and to prevent myself from giving full-on personal guarantee. He didn't even want the full personal guarantee, because I don't have money. I don't have 250K to put on the table as collateral. I don't have it. So I had to do a lot more steps and a lot more things to try and finalize that deal there with the equity. And we had put someone on the task of going and find that debt, go and talk to the banks. There's a broker specifically for that who's been great, and I hope comes back to me this week with great news. So that's something that you'll be updated about, whether it goes wrong or right, but hopefully right. But in any case, that equity part, I had a first investor that was okay with giving me the 250K that I was trying to find, and in exchange for equity, from some sort of collateral structure to a lot of different of the deal details, which we can go in detail about if you guys are interested. But I did struggle to find that other person that would come and guarantee him that money. But he would still get, that guarantor wouldn't put any money down. It was a cashless investment. You'd just get equity for just signing up as the real backup plan in case the business went bust the day we bought it. So it was quite a good deal in my eyes, but I also don't have 250K. So I understand. I definitely did. And at some point I had found someone in my network that I had good contacts with, that was nice enough to tell me that he would be that guarantor. That ended up not happening because of some reasons we can get into again. If you want to talk directly about what I learned from that interaction, I'll make a video about that. And so I needed to find, because I had told everybody, I told the investors, the business owners, the brokers in between, everybody, I told everyone that I had found the second to last piece, and that we just needed the easiest part done. And so that didn't go well. Once I got the message that he wasn't going to invest in the end, I had to find something else. And so I've been contacting people on LinkedIn, blah, blah, sending emails, but it was also holidays. It was middle of July. Nobody was getting back. I sent him a message to Yusuf again, just sending in the details and be like, I'm sort of struggling. And I asked her, at this point, would it not be best to take the risk, put in a personal guarantee, try and renegotiate with the investor, and I'll just work my ass off, making sure that this works. And in the end, I'm sure it will. So I don't mind putting my ass on the line, because if people are going to put their money down, I should be ready to put my ass on the line. But he was like, let me just send it to a few of my guys and see if anybody's interested. And so I worked for a few days to make a really good one-pager, making sure it's super clear, super well designed, that I worked on with my girlfriend. He sent it over to to his community, and I had 3 people come back to me, say that they all wanted to invest. And we had a meeting around 2 weeks ago now. It was a Wednesday. I was out cleaning in the morning when, motorcycle ride, it was pouring rain, and I wanted to be super early, so I got up super early to make sure that I had all the time to just refresh, make sure I had every number ready, blah, blah, blah. A few hours before the meeting, I arrive and have an amazing conversation, an amazing meeting. Investors are absolutely amazing, and people, just great people. And it was important. And I got out of there with yeses. I got out of there with handshakes, with people that were ready to invest, not only in the company, but in the vision that I had in building Saha Venture Group. I want to be a part of an exit of more than £100 million in the next 10 to 15 years. So that's what they invested in. And they made that very clear that my homework was now to find other companies to build a group around this company that I'm buying and the industry, and making sure that I can double down on building that group, making sure that the companies are also, of course, working, CEOs are still there, working, that everything is all the goals are aligned. That's my job. My job will be to recruit, make sure that people are aligned with the vision and that are motivated to do so. My job is to make sure that we can reach that last goal. And on this first deal, I probably won't even pay myself quite at all, really. I will service all the debt, make sure that business runs smoothly, and I have no reason to do so. I will live paycheck to paycheck until I make a significant amount. Whether I make, $2,000 a month or 5,000 does not change my life, or 10K doesn't change my life. I'll still live in this little studio with my girlfriend, eating the same things because we don't want to spend time cooking, doing the same things, waking up in the morning, just working. That's all we do. So my life wouldn't change. I don't go on holidays. I just go and see family whenever I can. That's it. For now, my 20s is dedicated to building a future. And that long-term play, I know will take time. So I don't feel rushed. So as of now, I talked about the deal flow, the equity, and now I'm waiting on the debt. So the issue with the debt right now is that we had papers, we had documents, fixed assets, age receivables that were maybe not up to date and maybe not completely correct. Some machines were valued a bit higher than they should be. And so the plan and how I structured the deal and the price, we couldn't reach that initial figure to make sure that they had the money they wanted on completion date. Not the full 2 million. We had a structure to make sure that there was some sort of seller finance. We couldn't reach that initial figure. We had to renegotiate with business owners, make sure that they were happy with the new deal. I took down that first day payment to make sure that we can try and reach that first day payment rather easily. And I sent off, and we also needed to update the fixed assets to make sure that the machines were correctly priced so we could correctly use those assets to leverage some debt and just try and maximize the debt, try and reach that amount that we wanted. And so I received the new documents, the new balance sheets, the new fixed assets, the new age receivables, and sent it off to the broker. And I've been waiting now for 2 weeks. Basically the day I saw the investors. I should have had an answer last week, but things take time. I hope to have something this week, positive. I really hope. But if it's not, then on to the next one. But what I learned in this first deal will be invaluable for the rest of my life. And the experience that I have now will make the next ones 10 times easier. Will have shown some people, even if I didn't buy that company in the end, that I knew what to do, I knew how to do it, and I can do it again. And all I need to do is find that other business. So that's the current deal. As I mentioned, Saha Venture Group, I want it to be worth a significant amount of money in the next 10, 15 years. And I hope that you'll be alongside me on this journey, learning with me. I'll tell you, again, every mistake, every failure, every lesson. As soon as possible, I'll be posting once a week. I'll be potentially making live streams in the future to get in touch directly with you guys. I'll post shorts. I'll do as much content as I can, because the more I put out, the more I represent, the more I have to know what I'm talking about, the more I learn, the more I can apply things like that are as simple as knowing how to do a YouTube video properly, correctly, the script, knowing how to communicate. Super important. Intonations, body language, hand gestures, movement. I've been listening to so many podcasts. Thank you, Dario, the CEO, by the way. I'm learning so much on this journey to try and be better every day and to challenge myself. This is a challenge. This is hard. This is far from easy. I have to kick out my girlfriend. I'm lucky that she's currently with a little brother that came to visit us. She actually took him to a meeting because she doesn't stop working. She went to her office with her little brother this morning and took her to meetings. So that's fine. If I were to give a piece of advice from my experience in my journey, I talk about this in another video where I talk about an overlooked trait, is that I may not be the best financial analyst in the world. I may not be the best salesman in the world. I may not be the greatest entrepreneur in the world. I may not be the most dedicated and obsessive person in the world. But what I do have is knowledge of my skills, and being likable is very important. I will leverage them from the brokers, from the investors, from my mentor, from my family that can always just try and reach in their network, try and do something, especially my father, who I'm privileged, and I will always say that it would be very hard to do what I'm doing without connection. But you can have connections, but if you don't know how to leverage it, then that's useless as well. So it's all about knowing where to apply your skills. So that's been my biggest mentality shift since I started this whole journey. Let me list some goals. I have my short-term goals, which is buying this first business this year, making sure that I can buy a business early of next year as well that will be in addition to that group that I will be building. That's my short-term goal. My long-term goal that you will see, maybe in titles of videos or in what I'm presenting in Saha Venture Group, is to be a part of an exit of £100 million in the next 10 years. And also, on the long-term goal, I want to be mainly investing in around Manchester. So, Greater Manchester and around that area. Because I'm inspired by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who bought shares in Manchester United, which is the club that my father played at as well, one of the clubs that he played at. Knowing how he did that, so I read his book, and knowing how he managed to acquire such a thing, such an enterprise, such a brand, such a part of my childhood. And if I could just contribute back to Manchester and to England what it gave to me, what it gave to my father as well, and providing some sort of value back, building it back, because right now England is struggling. And if I can improve it in any sort of way, yes, people don't like rich people and people that buy businesses and private equity, people ruin everything, but I don't think so. I think that I can build a network of investors, of people that are willing to back me and my ideas and my values, and I will build something truly exceptional while constantly maintaining what is the most important thing. Why I put Saha, my last name, on my company, is my reputation, and the reputation that this name has. From my father's name to my grandfather to all of my family, this name, I will never tarnish it. And I will do anything in my power to make sure that my reputation is the best it could possibly be. I will never be called a shark, damaging a society, damaging a company, damaging people, I will never provide inherent negative value for my own gain. That I will never do. So that is why I put my name on my company, to make sure that I always a reminder of what I stand for. And I will push that idea of being too kind in business out the door, and I will succeed in one of the most competitive and shark-like industries, and I will succeed by being kind and likable. That's me. I hope you guys like this video. I have many more coming. Comment what you guys would like to see, what you guys would like to talk about. Maybe give me a little bit of insight about your life, about what your objectives are. We can chat about that in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.